will help to make demonstrations today. So I will start with the slide deck, and after that we will show you some demonstrations. And we are going to cover the slide deck approximately in half an hour. So today is one of the first updates for the new generation of our client applications. So recently, by end of the previous year, we have updated the desktop application for Windows, for Mac, for Linux, for the new generation called 8.0. And today's this release is already available on our website. It was released already. And we're going to cover what's inside this release. And very soon, in 2 months, we will present to you the next version 8.2. So we are going to make at least 3 releases for the client application by end of this year. And every release will have more and more features. So we successfully migrated to the new platform, to the new architecture of our solution, to the new collaboration platform inside TrueConf server. And we're going to introduce into the UI of our client applications the features which we added before into the network layer, into the architecture, into the protocol itself of TrueConf solutions. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I hope you are doing fine, and let's go. I will stop sharing my screen, by the way, the slide deck, and will start to share my screen instead. Just a moment. Here we are. Okay. So the first thing to cover is we supported in the new version the ability to format, to apply some formatting inside messages you exchange in chat. So there are 2 ways how you can apply styles to your messages, either to use the context menu or by using the shortcuts. So we advise you to learn the shortcuts. For Windows and Linux machines, it's the same shortcuts like in any other editing application like Microsoft Word. So you have to press Ctrl+B for bold message, etc. On Mac, it would be Command+B, so very similar. So I will show you. This is our application. By the way, I will exit the conference mode and go to the chat session. So, for example, here I have like a chat group for few members, like a demo group. I will show you this way. So first of all, I will say hello, everybody. And I'd like to outline everybody part. So I selected just the board and press Command B to make it bold. Otherwise, I could select the formatting from the context menu. It could be underline or strike through version. So let's check this out. Strike version, bold text. So by the way, I can edit messages by simply pressing up arrow. Just a moment. Etc. So you got the idea. Another interesting feature we introduced to the chat, in addition to the styles, is ability to reply on messages by simply pressing Control arrow up or Control arrow down. On Mac, it could be Command up and Command down. So I basically iterate over all messages in a chat, looking for the message I'd like to reply to. So very simple. I press Command or Control and arrow up to cycle through all the messages. I have them. Now I see the message I'd like to reply. I just write my reply and send it back. Another new feature for the chat is the ability to transfer multiple files simultaneously, and the ability to transfer whole folders. So let me find some examples. So what I have here is, okay, let's have a look. Let's say I have two PDFs. I basically drag and drop them into the chat session. It could be personal chat or group chat or conference chat, doesn't matter, the same functions everywhere. And our application understood that I'd like to send a couple of files, and it is ready to upload both of them. I can add a small description and send them. Slide deck for today's webinar. We can also apply styles here as well. I press enter and files are being uploaded to the server and now available for the all members of this chat. In the same way, we can transfer images. It could be a very large folder. If I drop it inside the application, we will show you how many files are inside and what is the size of this folder. Actually, there is no limit on the size of the files or folders unless your server have enough free disk space for the user's files. You can send the files of any size of folders. So once the user on the other end, my party, download this folder, it will appear for him in the same way like for me. So it won't be an archive, it won't be a zip file, it will be just a folder. So we handle everything inside the folder, so you don't have to manually select multiple files. So that brings a lot of flexibility for collaboration between members of the team. But I don't want to share the whole folder. I will cancel this and we'll go back to the slide deck here to show you what we did also. We also supported the Markdown layout. Markdown is pretty popular format for messages. Usually IT companies use it inside for internal documents. It is very widespread. It is a default layout for GitHub documentation and many other systems like Wikipedia. So now you can use already pre-formatted Markdown text and copy and paste it inside our chat, and we will preserve the style from Markdown layout. So let me show you. I can say that two asterisk signs will make any part inside them a bold text. If I use two underlines, and this will make any text in italic. So let me show you. Oops. So I will edit this way. Yep. So this we have to finish the italic part with the space. That was my error. Okay, so Markdown is also supported. We do not support at the moment the monospace. I mean the fonts with size of every symbol with the same width. So it's like what it could be. So type of font you usually use in the terminal window, type of font developers usually use, so where every letter is the same width. So we do not support this. It will be added not in the next version, but later this year. So we are aware that support for same width letters are also important. So the next feature is about navigation. So it is very important for teams to quickly navigate across multiple chat sessions, personal chats, and application. And to achieve this, we added support for many shortcuts. So let me show you this. So if I go to the chat session, I'm inside the specific chat. So if I'd like to look around in other chats, I can press Alt. On Mac machine, this button is called Option. So on my computer, I use Option and arrows up and down to look around for chat sessions. Or I can press an Escape button anywhere. I can write a message, press an Escape button. Just a single press of an Escape button immediately put your focus to the search window. And you can search for specific chat or specific user with the full text search. So it could be part of the name, for example, not the whole name, it could be part of the name of the chat channel or specific username to find this chat. And after that, once I find the chat I'd like to select, I just use my arrow keys to select it and press enter, and immediately my focus is inside the input window and I can continue conversation. So once again, escape, support, select message, select chat, select chat, and we continue exchange messages. So I don't need to touch my mouse. So basically, all I need to use is the keyboard to navigate chat sessions. And we also added support for some other shortcuts. You can see them on this slide. So we can select individual messages using special buttons. We can also select, starting from this version, multiple messages using drag and drop technique. So instead of selecting message one by one, so the old approach was to execute select command from the context menu. After that, I have to press Shift or Command on Mac and select individual messages to select them. So I will cancel this by pressing Escape. So no need for this anymore. I can just push my mouse across the messages to select them. So it's very native gesture, just like on your iPad, like on your phone. You just move around the mouse with the left mouse key pressed to select multiple messages. And after that, you can forward them, copy, delete, do whatever you'd like to do. So that's like the stuff we had before. That also brings some new and very small but nice UI features to ease the use of our application as a collaboration platform outside of video conference, just for text exchange, text messages. We also supported the replies by, I will go to my sales team. So if I'd like to reply on a message on the mobile phone, I need to swipe the message left. So I'm not able to swipe on the computer, but I can double click any message to reply on the message. So this is very, very simple. Just double click again to send a reply. On the mobile, I have to swipe left the message to reply only. Another thing we added is the support for high quality image preview. So if I create a shortcut for some area on my screen, and I will go back to the chat and copy and paste it from my clipboard, just I have to press Command V or Control V to paste it. Once the image will be downloaded by your parties or yourself, it will be displayed in a native resolution, of course downscale, but it won't be blurred anymore. So we display it even on high DPI screens. We display it in nice quality. And of course, if you'd like to see the original image, you have to press on it and the viewer will open. So next version, we're going to add the viewer inside the chat. So you will be able to preview image files and video files without leaving the application inside our application. So it will bring even more comfortable experience for users. So no need to open a third-party application associated with image files or video files because we never know what kind of application on the user side is selected as a default application for, let's say, PNG or .avi file. So it could be any application. So it will be more convenient to play it inside. So we're working on this. It will be available soon. Let me check the chat section. So No questions so far. Rudolf, are you receiving me okay? Is the quality okay?
The quality is good. I had
Okay.
a couple of questions for here, just to make sure that, for example, if those who are using the client application version 8.0, they still can receive all the bold and other formatting in the chat, right?
Um, we have to check this, but I don't think so, because we updated the internal format for chat messages when we upgraded to version 1.1. So what is for sure, the image being sent in chat in the new version won't be displayed. It will be received as a link, but won't be displayed with a preview on a previous version of our chat. So our advice is to upgrade to the latest version. And it is already available, and we have a nice guides on how to automatically update client applications for your users. So you have to download the new version and put it on a special folder on your TrueConf server, and it will be automatically distributed for all users. So you don't need to manually update the application. So we always advise to update the application. The chat messages is fully back. We provide back compatibility, but I don't think styles will be applied in this way. Another question?
Thank you. Yes, actually.
Okay.
Regarding the Markdown, this is really great because this is a unified uh, uh, Markdown language, and many people know it. But there are some commands, as far as I understand, which are not related to Markdown. And in this case, will there be an option? What do you think regarding the configuration of the hotkeys in the future?
We do not plan to change hotkeys at the moment. So we we pre-code, we hard code inside the application the shortcuts. So we define them. We can create a custom built application with specific shortcuts, but not now. So
But not necessarily, probably at the moment.
there is no an editor for shortcuts at the moment. Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Thanks.
let's go further. Thank you, Rudolf. So multiple files, I just showed you this. So you can drag and drop whatever you have selected. Doesn't matter what it is. Any files, any content. If it is a text content, it will be pasted as a text. If it is an image file, it will be sent as an image file. The next version, if you have a movie file, it will be sent as a video with a built-in player. If it is a regular file, it will be delivered as a regular file, any size, all inside your system, all inside your server, all is being encrypted. What is important, all messages are encrypted and delivered in an efficient manner across all participants of the chat, so it doesn't affect the bandwidth on the server. Every file being delivered to one person could be later delivered for other participants, not only from the server, but also from another users who already have the copy of this file. So we distribute the load process across multiple endpoints who share the same data. Okay, another new feature is for automatic mute for participants when they join the meeting. So this is actually a pretty simple thing. If we go to the conference planner, here we are, we can apply this setting for the ad hoc meetings you create in real time, or the same settings could be applied for scheduled messages. You only have to tick this checkbox, and every person who joined the meeting, it will have its microphone or camera disabled by default, and you can address later what to do, enable them or ask them to enable the microphone manually. And it is important to understand that in our system, the conference owner and moderators, they can remotely enable and disable equipment of the users. So we can basically mute the microphone not by stopping to receive the audio stream from this participant. We actually disable microphone using USB protocol, whatever device is being connected. So we mute it on the system, and if the speakerphone or microphone support USB protocol, we can highlight the red LED on the speakerphone, for example. So, and everything is being controlled by every Aura and moderator, not only by the user itself. So we can troubleshoot some basic issues by controlling the equipment of the users who are using our applications. It doesn't work in browser, only inside our applications. Another new feature is short responses, quick replies. So if you receive a call, now you can accept, decline the call, or you can click on the chat icon and select predefined. You are not able to change these strings, so they are hard-coded inside the application at the moment with two basic actions. So I'll call you back later, and don't bother me. Sorry, I can't talk right now, so it's up to you what to choose. And of course, you can enter the custom text. So if you are busy, it's now easy to tell your colleagues that you are busy and they should come back to you later. So they will have a reason why you have declined their call. And of course, whatever you select here in this menu, it will decline the call. So that's like the same action, like declining a call.
Lev, I'm sorry. Does it work also on iWatch, for example? Or somebody's
well,
calling you?
No, this feature is for Windows and Mac and Linux applications at the moment. I think Android also has quick replies, but I'm not sure about Watch OS, so we have to check this. It's not a problem to add. It is very natural way how to handle incoming calls on the iWatch, Apple Watch. So we will definitely put this into the backlog if it is not available at the moment. But I'm not a user of Apple Watch to verify this at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Another important thing is it is now much easier to find the slide decks. So I will show you. We are back to the conference. And actually, in this new generation of our applications, fully support PDF files for Linux, Mac, or Windows. For Windows, you have to ask your system administrator to enable PDF decryption. So in Linux and on macOS, operating system provide for us built-in libraries for PDF display. So we can decode PDF files easily on those operating systems. But for Windows, we have to install third-party application. It has to be installed only by the administrator and only on the server. For users inside client applications, it will be transparent. Nothing will be required to add support for PDF files. It will be enabled automatically. So processing of files is happening automatically for user. So before, we have to go to the menu and select slideshows. And here we have to upload PDF file this way. And we can upload multiple slide decks and we can actually edit them. We can move around slides. So this is something not new. We showed you this before. We can mix PDF files with images of our images we would like to add. So it's kind of some basic editor for slide decks. So before you had to go there to start the slide deck presentation. Now you can easily click on the share button and we have share slideshow here. And you can select which slide deck to show. And now we have enabled the slide deck for today's presentation. So it's quite easy to manage. If you'd like to hide some slides, you can use a built-in editor in our desktop applications to hide them or replace them with whatever you want. And all slide decks are saved on the client applications, not on the server. So you can use the same slide decks between multiple instances of our server and deliver your presentations. They always stay with your machine. So I will stop this. And what we're going to add in the next version, we are going to add the previews. So right now, you don't see the contents of the screen being displayed or application you'd like to share. It will be changed in the next version, and you will be able to preview inside applications and inside multiple desktops. For example, if you have an additional monitor connected to a PC or computer, you will be able to preview it. It is especially important if you have the same resolution, let's say Full HD monitor and Full HD screen of your laptop, and you never know which one you're going to share. So we will be able to preview them in the next version. But for this version, only slideshows was added here. We can also use PDF files here as well. So very native way to control meetings.
That's a cool feature.
Yep. Another new feature is for automatic layout management. And it is actually so important, we decided to enable it by default. So Rudolf, I will need your help to show this during the meeting. So
okay.
I will enable active speaker layout, which is enabled by default. And the moment Rudolf will start talking, he will become larger in my layout.
I'm starting talking, saying something like 1 or 2 or both of them. And is it working?
Yes.
Yeah, I see that I'm purple.
No.
You can see me. Am I changing? Probably should be louder or no?
No. It's because I'm the owner, and we are on the podium.
I see. Mm.
I got it. I'm sorry. Because I'm sharing my screen, I have the higher priority than you are when you speak. So I have to stop sharing my screen to show this. Dmitry, can you help us? So can you show this on your side? So just
Yes, of course.
share this application screen, and I will stop sharing mine.
So, I need to share my screen, yes?
Just show us this meeting, not the demo server, this meeting, and enable the active layout. Open our application. Yeah, go to the full screen. So go to the conference settings, layout settings, active speaker layout. We have the same story with you. So you're sharing the screen. So you have to select another application. Okay. Anyway, so you got the idea. So by default, the application will show you the person who is either speaking or the person who is delivering the content. So for regular user, there is no need to double click, because usually you have in our applications, you have to double click someone to make it larger in the layout. Let me show you once again our application. Or you have to double click on someone to make it larger, or you have to press a special icon on the layout to make someone larger. So starting from this version, it will happen automatically. And if you'd like to disable this, you have to go to this special area and select those features. You can select active speaker layout. You can also select automatic spotlight of the content window. And it will automatically make larger any person who is delivering the content. For example, the content could be received from slide shows inside our application. When someone is sharing his screen or application, or when BFCP or H239 content is being received for this meeting through the gateway, for example, from Cisco Poly endpoint. So whatever type of content you receive, it will be automatically, it will be displayed in the spotlight position in the layout for users with the default settings. So no need to change anything. This is the new feature. Rudolf, by the way, can you say something? I will disable this. Okay.
Yes, I'm saying something. Oh,
Finally.
it's working.
And now it's
That
working
looks
because I have disabled the automatic content layout. So I have only priority for voice, not for content. That's why.
On the other hand, I've been changing. Now I'm on the main screen, but when you are speaking, is anything changing? Now you say something.
Because I'm sharing my screen. That's why. If Dmitry will start to talk, Dmitry, if you say something, you will become larger in the layout.
I am saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So this is how it works. So it's the rules are a little bit more difficult when we share your screen. Okay. So we covered this. So let's go back to the slide deck. Another feature here is ability to pin conference controls. So by default, let me show you. We enable those two black bars on the top and on the bottom of the window. So if I'd like to automatically hide them, I have to disable this option, pin conference controls. And if I go full screen, I disable participant list, I disable everything, and I don't move my mouse. So those toolbars will be hidden. So now I have a kind of a room mode. So nothing disturbs me from the meeting. But if I start to move my mouse around, the controls will be displayed again. So in some cases, it could be annoying, but our idea is to maximize the size of the video of participants and to use the real estate of your screen in the most efficient manner. That's why we enable these options, but by default, it is disabled. And by default, we always display, even during the full screen mode, the conference controls, but they could be hidden. I go back, and this is another new feature. You see this notification about full screen. So you can go back from the full screen everywhere in the application, not only inside the call or multi-point conference. We can exit using a special system notification in the top, and it will automatically be displayed when your mouse is near the top of the window. So I will enable chat and participants once again. Okay, so let's check the questions. No questions so far. Actually, we had so many questions this morning for the local webinar for our CIS customers. It took 1.5 hours to answer. Okay.
What was the most popular?
Well, we discussed some features which are important for our customers for chat sessions, like threaded discussions, like favorite chat sessions, to easily go back to the like a pin. We discussed when it will be possible to pin chats in the list of chat sessions, chats you usually use. We also discussed features like moderators, so you can delegate the right to control who are able to add or remove participants from the chat. We added support for previous history, because right now when you add someone to the chat, it will only see the new messages, not previous messages. So yes, everything is in our roadmap, and the next version during this summer will bring the support for those features, along with some others. So I will cover this a little bit later. Let's go back to this release. So this is another new feature with background blurring. I will ask Dmitry to help me. I will stop sharing my screen and we'll describe what you are seeing on Dmitry's screen.
So.
just create any meeting. Okay, make yourself larger. Now you see the new icon, blur background, right above your video. So once you click it, our new updated artificial intelligence algorithm will blur your background. So Dmitry, check it. We updated the network. It becomes it now requires less CPU, and it also tries to play nicely with headsets you might have, and also tries to place nicely if you have two person next to the camera. So it is a new algorithm, and the best thing about it, you don't need to go to the settings like before to enable this. So you can enable this privacy feature blurring right now, right in the layout. So what we're going next, in the next version, we are going to use the same UI to create virtual backgrounds. So our algorithm for background removal was optimized, and now we're able to not only blur, but also to replace the background with any message. Some images will be predefined, but of course, users will be able to upload their own images for virtual backgrounds, and it will come with the version 8.2 in our application in July, I believe in July, pretty soon. And another new thing for the version 8.2 is the ability to capture the audio from content. So for example, in the next version, if you are going to share your screen with YouTube video inside, your audience will finally hear the video audio. This is something we're missing at the moment, and it will be available pretty soon. All those updates will be free, of course, for our customers. Okay, let's go back to this release. I will share my screen again. Okay. Yep. And another important feature which improves the usability, we decided to add those small buttons. So now it is quite obvious how to change your microphone, camera, and speakers without going to the settings. So you can select these small down arrows and bring up the menu to select your devices. Because before it was also available, but only by pressing the right button of your mouse. So pressing the right button is not the obvious way, and many users was confused. So we decided to add this small selection lists. We also added the microphone level. Many users complained that it is very important for them to be sure that the microphone is enabled and the audience could hear them. So now you can be absolutely sure that the microphone is working. And you see the volume level here. In the next version, we're going to add the speaker volume here as well. So you will be able to adjust the volume of the selected speakers inside the application, again, without going to the settings. So of course, you can adjust everything in the settings, but it is not very convenient during the meeting. So we improve those controls here. We also added support for some typical shortcuts for Mac operating system. So, for example, you can minimize Windows by pressing Windows W button. You can quit the application. I'm not going to do this by pressing Command Q button, and some other things. For example, you can bring up the settings by pressing Command comma. So this is something missing in Linux and Windows, but very essential for the feeling of the application for Mac users. So we're put a big stress right now for Mac operating system. So and bring all those features natural for users of this operating system to our application. Okay, so automatically spotlight content window. This is something we already showed to you. By the way, you can use this menu to change the type of the layout. So no need to go to the settings. We can select the typical layouts we have, like the corner layout, layout at the top or on the left. It depends. It stretches automatically to fit all inside all visible participants in the conference. By default, overlay is used. It's not the fixed layout, it's kind of type of layout being applied for all new members, being displayed in your application. These settings only change the local layout, not the global layout. For global layout, we have different settings here for real-time management. We covered this in the previous webinars many times. Okay, full screen mode hint. Yes, it is here. By the way, we added AI-enabled hints. This is very interesting feature. So I will describe you and then we'll show you. So if you are the speaker, if you are being presented on the podium, and for some reason you muted your microphone on the speakerphone side or within the application, and after that, if you start to talk, we will display you we will recognize that you are talking, you are saying words, and we will show you the hint that nobody is hearing you because your microphone is disabled. So let me show you. I'm back to you. So this hint only appears when you talk. So if you are not talking, it will not appear. So it is actually AI feature, small feature, but it will help to troubleshoot a lot of issues for your speakers during the meetings. And we're going to add more and more hints to educate new users. And more hints we add, the more annoying they will be for advanced users. And we also understand this. So there will be a special checkbox in the settings. So if you believe you're an experienced user, you will be able to disable the introduction mode. But by default, for all new users, the introduction education mode will be enabled, and a lot of features will be disabled. How to become a speaker, how to change your devices, how to share your content, how to manage the layout, etc. To decrease the load, to help system administrators solve advanced tasks and not being bothered with stupid questions by users on how to enable the microphone, etc. So we're going to automate this. Okay, media player. This is a very cool feature because before you had to go to the folder where the recordings of our client applications were stored. Now you are able to play them back inside the application, so no need to leave the application. So I will show you. I go to the menu, video records. I was visiting the event in Samara City a couple of weeks ago, so and recorded this. So it plays automatically. I can move around the recording. The quality is very high, 1080p. So this is the audience. It was like a Hilton in Samara. I don't remember where it was. So, and you could have multiple recordings here. So you just click the recording and you are able to play it back. So you can record your own conference. You can record conference you're being invited to for your further reference. And of course, we are able to go to the file and we are able to share it, of course. So yeah, you are not limited to preview and play back the video inside the application. So you can do whatever you want to do inside the application with the third-party applications.
Lev, I can see that there is a volume bar, so that means that we can also hear what is playing, right?
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Okay.
So this is like a video player inside. The thing is that when you record the conference, in the client application. The recording strictly follows the layout you selected. So inside the local recording, the global layout, which you usually see when you connect through the browser or you play back the recording from the server side, in the client application, it is different. It always follows the layout being selected by user. And when you start a recording, let me show you. We ask other participants to allow, you can see the counter. So it was 1 and then 2 and then 3. Every user receive a request to allow the recording. So if someone will prohibit me to record him, it won't be displayed and in the layout, and his video will be absent. It will be avatar instead of the user inside the recording, and his voice will be missing. So we have to understand this. So we always ask the permission for recording from users. And the only way to move this around is to ask a user to enable recording by third parties by default in the settings. So we have a special settings here. I think it is tools. Yes. So who can record me? It could be nobody. It could be a request displayed every time. It could be everyone from my local server or federated instances or TrueConf Cloud, or it could be users I know from my address book. So you have to decide who can record you. By default, we allow users to be recorded by their colleagues, by contacts from the address book. This is default behavior. But this is different from the server recording. In server side recording, everybody is being recorded. That's the reason. Okay. This is a very cool feature. So in every meeting, it always happens, especially during the large meetings, that someone is not being connected despite the fact he was invited. Someone being disconnected because of connectivity issues. Someone left the meeting. Someone, for example, finished his presentation and left the meeting as well. So now all those users who were disconnected, left the meeting, or was disconnected by technical reasons, they are being displayed in a special list called Unconnected Users inside the application. It affects every conference mode, not only role-based conference or webinars. It is displayed in every meeting. So you can see in this webinar, we have 13 users who was disconnected for some reasons. We don't know those reasons. So now what we can do, we can invite them to our address book, add them to our address book. But actually, I don't want to add guest users, but I can try to recall them. It won't work with the guest users because they probably closed the browser or our application. So very small chances we will reach them, but we can try. The servers support this feature because guest users could be authenticated not only in the browser, they could be authenticated in the regular applications. But for example, this user, Gideon, he used a local server of his own, and we can try to re-invite him, and he will receive a call and go back to the meetings. So the idea for the new feature, now it is possible to re-invite everybody or clear this list or clear from this list some specific users. For example, you drop someone, you don't want to re-invite some duplicates who try to connect this meeting from 2 different tabs inside his browser. And now we can re-invite everybody or clear this list. This is how it works. So we bring an ability to manage the list of unconnected participants. And the best thing about this feature, it is now you don't need to remember who was invited, who left the meeting. So you see actually what's going on. And if someone is trying to avoid the meeting and not to be presented, It happens every time during corporate meetings. People don't really love to work actually, and they try to get out of meeting for some reason, so we can reinvite them. We can follow them back. Okay. Another small feature, but also quite important, and very few people actually know that we have push-to-talk feature from the beginning, for many years. In every meeting in TrueConf, if you are not on the podium, or if you are using regular symmetric conference, you can press the space bar. You can try it right now to press the space bar, and you don't have to be a speaker, Rudolf. It doesn't affect your behavior. It's only available for listeners, for regular participants.
I didn't do that.
So any person who pressed the spacebar, he acquires this channel, and no one else will be able to say something until this person released the spacebar, or we can press a special button inside the application, which is push to talk button. So until you release this button, you will be heard by all participants of the call. And even if your microphone was disabled, until you release this button, your microphone will be enabled by us. And once you finish your phrase and release this button, the microphone will be disabled again, will be muted again. So we follow the state of the microphone, which was set before this push-to-talk feature being used. So this is a small thing, but very few users know that actually there is no need to become a speaker to say something during large meetings. So it could be 1,000 attendees, and they can use this feature to provide some feedback. And it also helps you to avoid the mess during the meeting, because only one person at a time can use this feature. So it's like a radio. It is not possible for many people to speak together. Only speakers can speak together. Okay. And another small improvement in the UI is the display of the recent reaction being introduced to the meeting. So if Rudolf will open reaction tab, it is located here, reactions. His reaction will be displayed on my screen. Rudolf, could you please, yeah, here we are. So Rudolf raised his hand. Dmitry clapped his hands. So this is a new feature. Before, you had to open manually this window and see who set reaction. So we can see exactly who set the reaction. The reactions are also displayed in the list of the participants here. So small icons are being displayed. So if you have the participant tab hidden, if you have chats section hidden, so this small feature will help you to see people's reaction during the meetings. And we're going to improve it in the next version with the support of one-to-many and multiple selection questions. So it will be radio buttons or checkboxes type of questions inside the chat. So you will be able inside the chat to create the survey, short survey, and send it to everybody, every participant. And after that, you will be able to collect the statistic of this question. The reactions will be used in for this function as well. So it will have kind of editor for simple questions with one or multiple answers. Also in the next version. Okay, another small thing, but also not very obvious before, is an ability to share content. To share contacts, because our customers, many of them, they don't actually know that TrueConf instances could be federated together, and any users between federated instances, between different servers of different customers, actually can reach each other, call each other, exchange files, exchange messages, and see the availability status of each other. We call this federation. By default, it is disabled. So you have to specifically enable the federation for the friendly servers you'd like to be friends with some other organizations, for example. So it is important to share contacts of remote users, who are authenticated, who work for a remote organization, but you'd like to share them. And also for large customers who runs many servers, it is also important, because before, if you want to share the information about the user, so you have to go to the profile. Let me show you user info. You have to copy the TrueConf ID. You have to paste it to the chat. So it is actually difficult, but now it is much easier. So first of all, in any user info tab, there is a share button. Just a moment, here it is. So, and we can immediately select whom we'd like to send the contact information about this user. We can also use this in chat. It could be a conference chat or regular group chat. Here again, we can share the content, and we select, for example, I'd like to share the contact of the operator, and it will be highlighted here. And as in the same way, we can press add. So this is a shortcut for content sharing. So I can share Bjorn guest contacts here as well. So this is how it works. Okay. Content sharing in the profile, just showed you this. Oof, the last slide. So while you read this slide, I will prepare another demonstration. So, I'm sorry, I won't be able to show you this because I'm in a meeting. Dmitry will help me. So what we added is automatic parsing, automatic recognition of third-party services like Zoom, WebEx, Lifesize Cloud, BlueJeans meetings. It is quite important for our customers in Europe and in India, inside the environments who use many remote sessions, who are being invited often to third-party conference, online conference services. So now it is possible to copy and paste any Zoom or Lifesize or BlueJeans or WebEx meeting link inside our application. So Dmitry, could you please show this? I will stop sharing my screen. So Dmitry copy and paste Zoom link, and we immediately recognize that this is a Zoom session. We ask the host about hidden meta tags inside this page to understand to which server to connect, and transform this into the SIP call, because TrueConf server has built-in, even the free version, they have built-in SIP gateway. And in the same manner, we can copy and paste another services links, and you can use TrueConf application as the application for another services. So for your users, it is not required to install other applications. Of course, the interoperability is limited to SIP protocol. So you need to have a SIP license on your server. And on other side, the SIP should be enabled also. For example, for Zoom conferences, this is a paid feature. For Lifesize and for BlueJeans, it is enabled by default. So we can try to reach those meetings from our application. And we also support content. So if you share your content, we will encode it using BFCP and H.239 protocols for the remote service. And if someone will share the content in Zoom session, we will receive this content over SIP protocol as BFCP, and also will display it for you as a separate video window inside our application. So it works in both directions, for video, for audio, and for content streams, this new feature. I will share my screen again. Okay, so what else we added? The call button performs different actions. Yes, yes, yes. So we will share you the link to the new news on our website with the whole changelog. A lot of features was improved and more will come. Just to outline what is going to be released during the summer in the next version of TrueConf version 8.2 is the ability to select virtual backgrounds. We will also bring new features to the chat sessions, like pin chats, preview of media files, moderators of chat sessions, and some other things. We will also add support for audio capturing for content. We will also add support in the next version for high quality audio. So Zoom calls this original audio quality or something like that. So in our system, it will mean so you can it will be enabled by default. So we will increase the frequency of audio encoder to 32 kilohertz. Right now, TrueConf sessions are limited to 16 kilohertz, and we're going to double this frequency. It will significantly improve the quality of audio. It is actually fine at the moment. For example, for devices like Poly I have right now with me, such devices are not able to output the quality of audio better than 14 kilohertz. But that's why it is more than enough, the current settings we have. But if you have the studio microphone or very nice headset, for example, Dmitry has Logitech Zone headset, which can utilize 32 kilohertz. And Rudolf is using a studio microphone, which can also utilize 32 kilohertz. This will be released in the next version. Another new feature for the next version, also connected with audio, is AI-based, artificial intelligence-based noise canceling. So all noises, it could be doors, air conditioning, printing machines, noisy colleagues, some clattering papers, or even the rings of smartphones, whatever, will be eliminated automatically. No need for dedicated GPU. It is not RTX voice-based solution. It is our own technology. So we will focus on voice. Everything except voice will be eliminated, everything. So it works like magic. We already finished this algorithm, AI-based noise canceling algorithm. The problem with this algorithm, it's quite hungry. So it requires the additional CPU core to be used. But for many customers, it is very important because their users, they usually have pretty bad headsets or they don't have any headset. And in noisy environments like home, like open space, the bad microphone built into the laptop or cheap headset pick up a lot of noises. And for them, it is more important to have noise canceling than better audio quality. So you will be able, the users will be able to select between improved audio quality or smaller quality, 16 kilohertz per second, 60 hertz, 16 kilohertz, but with noise canceling technology inside. It will utilize CPU, not GPU, and will allow users to use cheap equipment and output nice voice to the meeting and improve the quality of the collaboration with colleagues because no noise will be presented in the meeting. So that's all for today's webinars. We actually spent almost even more than 1 hour for today's webinar. That's a lot. So if you have any questions, it's the right time to ask them.
Thanks, Lev. And for those who have any ideas or wishes, you are welcome to contact us through the live chat or email or technical support and share it with us.
Thank you, guys.
Right,
We are going to be presented by our partner on ISE, which is going to be held in 2 weeks in Barcelona. So if you'd like to have a look in hand with our solutions, And if you are going to ISE to Barcelona, we will be there. Our partner will present our solutions. I think our booth number is 2G400, something like that, in the main hall next to Google, next to Cisco and all major brands. So we'll be happy to see you there. And that's it. That's it. So wait for our future updates. We are working hard to bring you the best collaboration experience for on-premise environments. And have a nice day and goodbye then.
Thanks. See you
Thank
all.
you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.